Thank you very much for being here today. We're really excited that you are interested in being a part of this task force. It's an exciting project that we hope we can get off the ground with your help. I'm gonna do some introductions. Today's gonna be a bit of a sit and get, so we're gonna go through a lot of information. There's gonna be opportunities to provide feedback at the end of the meeting, either digitally or on the clipboard that I provided you. Let me just tell you, it's in that clipboard, these slides are there. So if you want to take any notes, obviously you can take that presentation home with you. Then the other form is the feedback form. Again, there's a QR code, you can scan it or you can write down your questions. Our goal is to collect as much feedback from you as we can, either tonight or between now and the next meeting, which is June 19th. So that we can give all the answers. It'll help us prepare for the next presentation that we have. We'll have a FAQ and all that stuff. So give us as much feedback as you can on tonight. We really would appreciate it. These are some of the meeting goals just to go over. We want to talk about the task force resolution that the school board approved last month for us. We're going to show you a little bit about our current facilities. A lot of you guys are well aware of what we have and what we don't have. We're going to show you some preliminary outdoor plans that we've been working on over the last several months. Again, collect the feedback. And really the important part of this is that we're generating some interest, excitement, and trying to get people involved in this type of projects. It's going to really take a big group effort to make this happen. Let me just do some introductions. I guess I should tell you, I'm Dave Cody. I'm the Director of Communications and Public Relations for the school district. We do have two board members, school board members in the audience. It's Amy Crosby and Renee Connick. They're right there. Joe Garza in the back, superintendent. He was greeting you today. Patrick Miller, our chief financial officer, is right here. And then Cody and Kevin, you guys are probably well aware of these guys, athletic directors. Jordan's here too from West, and a lot of other staff members and family members as well. Why are you here? This is you either are or you will be really involved in athletics or activities at Eisenhower West. Some of you are going through that process right now. Some of you will be because you have kids who are in one of our elementary schools. And you've either shown a lot of support in the past or we anticipate you showing support in the future for athletic and activity programs at Icon West. You definitely understand the value add that good facilities mean to a school, mean to a district, and mean to a community. You are identified as someone who may be interested in advocating or championing, tough word to say, for outdoor facilities. You're considered an expert. You could be a coach. You could be a coach in another district. You may be a teacher. You may be in business and marketing. A lot of different connections, a lot of different reasons why you'd be considered an expert. And then you have a network of other people that would or should be involved in this type of project. The Board of Education, like I said, did pass a resolution a couple of weeks ago that allowed us to get this task force up and running. When I share this presentation with you electronically, you can click on it and you can read through it. I did want to pull out a couple excerpts. And one of them is, and I did highlight this because it's important to note that this task force is charged with looking at non-referendum ideas. So it's ways to fundraise or solicit donations, use the district's funds that we already have, but it's non-referendum. It's a non-referendum charge right now. As far as what the plan is, this task force, we're hoping that you guys can collectively pull together help us redefine our plans, help us figure out the next steps. And when we pull all that together after our meetings, we're going to be presenting to the school board no later than November 1st, some type of plan to move forward. Current state of facilities. This shouldn't come as a surprise to any of you because many of you, like I said, are already involved in these activities. We'll start with the stadiums. We have field surfaces that don't always hold up to the weather, whether it's the football, soccer field, right? It doesn't hold up to the weather conditions. Eisenhower recently had a playoff game that had to move. Soccer games have had to move to turf locations just so we can get the games in. Girls soccer, baseball, and softball often can't host events until mid-April. I mean, that's if they're lucky. Mid-April is a great target, but We don't always even make it that. The weather often makes it a little bit difficult to provide consistent, safe playing surfaces. I mean, if you tear up the football field in early fall, you're dealing with that the rest of the fall because you're running on divots and everything else. And again, usage limitations. We've had to rent out different facilities just to get practices in. And again, even games as well. Grandstands lack adequate capacity and accessibility. Again, none of this is a surprise to anybody. These are what some of our neighbors have. Waukesha North, South, and West all have turf football. Brookfield Central and East have turf stadiums. West Dallas Hale has a turfed football field, and to the east of it also has a turf soccer field. Muskego, turf. Whitnall, turf. Those are all of our contiguous neighbors. We don't have any of those types of facilities. Here's another graphic that kind of illustrates a little bit how we compare to our neighbors. The yellow dots are us. The blue dots, first of all, this is all of Waukesha County schools and all of Woodland Conference schools, which is what we're a part of. The blue dots are all the schools that have some type of turf facility. The green dots are the ones that do not. And again, we are represented by the yellow dots. Current status of our facilities, again, moving forward with tracks. If any of you are involved in track or have a student that's involved in track, you know that our tracks are deteriorating. They need to be fully repaired and resurfaced. Softball, baseball, again, can't typically host events until mid-April because of the conditions. Eisenhower baseball field availability often dependent on field playability. I'm sure it's the same for West. One thing I do want to mention, Title IX considerations. This has been a topic in the past in our district. If we do make improvements to baseball field, for example, we have to make similar improvements to a softball field. So there has to be equal upgrades at both facilities. It's just something to keep in mind as we move forward. This is something that's a little bit exciting, and anybody who's familiar with the West baseball field should know that in the past, the field was considered in a floodplain holding area, which meant that it was not available to be turfed. We couldn't turf it per the DNR. It is no longer in that floodplain holding area. So if turfing baseball field is something that we're going to look at or move forward with somewhere down the line, the baseball field is we could do it. We could do it at the field. Other considerations, I'm going to show you some of these plans and it'll make a little bit more sense, but Eisenhower practice field, if we reconfigured some things, it would yield some more space for the entire community to use. And then if we added some lighting to some of our facilities, we also could maximize the usage of some of our facilities. So if you have lights, you can play longer, you can play on the weekends. A lot of different opportunities that we could have with some lighting. Here are some potential upgrades. And what I'm going to show you are some plans that I need to be very clear that they are not highly engineered plans. They are very rough plans. They are just kind of what it could look like, if we were to move forward. This is Eisenhower. The other thing I want to point out is that anything that's highlighted in green does not necessarily mean that it's turf. It just means that it's new. Okay. We'll run through these really quick. Number one is obviously a turfed multi-use stadium where we would also be improving or redoing the entire track and adding some new lighting. Number two is recreating the grandstands over there, the press box, and kind of reconfiguring things a little bit over there. Three would be just some work around the plaza area, improve that. Number four would be a synthetic turf field, just the infield. And the reason why just the infield for baseball is largely because of cost. Baseball fields actually have gigantic surface areas and they're very expensive to turf the entire field. So when local high schools do turf a baseball field, and typically it's just the infield. There may be some other examples of not, but that's what we're thinking right now. I should go back that one all the way up on the top there. Those are new, some new track areas. The throws areas need to be redone. 4, 5. Where's 5? It's 5 over there, all the way on the end, a little bit cut off. Softball, possible synthetic turf over there. That would be a full turf field. 6, that's just some ditch clean out over here to the west of the stadium. 7, replacing the bridge, a little bit of a minor project there. Number 8, this is this would be reconfiguring the green space that we have here. Again, 8 is not turf, and this 9 is not turf either. This is reconfiguring green space, putting some lighting on the west side of that far, or the middle field, I should say, the soccer field. Again, more potential for opportunity to use it into the evening hours. And again, reconfiguring that baseball diamond, relocating it, I should say. Right now, it's currently up kind of where that number 2 sits, and it faces up, hitting to the east. This would be hitting out towards the west. Again, very high level, not very engineered plans. Here is what we could potentially do at West. Number 1, again, multi-use stadium. That would be turfed with an enlarged track to fit both soccer and football. I didn't say that before, but both stadiums would be soccer football stadiums. Number 1 also includes some improved track areas. Again, the throws down here in the bottom left-hand corner and the jumps up in the very top there. So it's just some improved areas. Again, that's not turf, that's just showing improvements. Number 3, turfed infield on the softball field. And number 4, I'm sorry, that'd be entire softball field. Number 4 is a infield only turf or synthetic field. Real quick, the soccer, we can't do anything with soccer yet because those still are in the floodplain. So we can't do any improvements as far as turfing soccer over.
Dave, can you just mention something about the new outdoor facility?
Yeah, absolutely. Right where you see this little building right here, that building isn't there anymore because they just tore it down this week. We're going to have a brand new outdoor plumbed bathrooms, concession stand and team room, courtesy of a family's donation, and then some funds from Fund 41. I don't know, can we, Joe, thank you, Joe. Mallinger family helped us out with this project, and it will be up and running by the football season this fall. We're going to have West was the last school in the Woodland Conference and Waukesha County that didn't have outdoor plumb bathrooms, but that will no longer be the case come August. So
share with you from the football families, they are extremely excited.
I'm sure they are. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. We all are very excited about that.
You understand football families excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. They just started again construction to demoed the current concession stand this week and dug the footings, and it's happened. So again, it's a lot going on, a lot of options, a lot of things to consider. This is where we've kind of landed as far as potential phases of the projects and how we could make this happen, or how we think we should try to make it happen. Phase 1 would be tackling the 2 multi-use stadiums. The reason for that we'll get to, but the biggest reason is that it has the biggest impact on the most students, most teams, most different activities that could use those facilities. Phase number 2 would be looking at some type of baseball, softball upgrade, and there are several options. And I'll run through those really quick. If we did everything, it'd be turfing both infields at both baseball infields at both schools and turfing both softball fields. We could consider doing turf, baseball, and softball at one school and utilize it by both of the schools. Or we could do turfing baseball at one school and softball at another, and again, sharing those facilities among those sports. The reason cost, I mean, if you only have to do one of each, the cost is half of what you would have to pay if you try to do 2 of each. Phase 3 would be considering looking at the, again, that green space at Eisenhower that could be reconfigured and maximized with some changes. Who would benefit from phase 1? Obviously, you guys all know a lot of the people who would benefit, but we'll go through some of the, any team that would compete on a synthetic field in the fall and spring. Could be out there. The new track obviously is going to benefit the track teams, all the training that could take place out there. Even teams that practice out on turf fields. I live in West Dallas. My daughter plays for the Hale softball team. They practice on the stadium, the turf stadium or the turf fields all the time because their fields aren't ready until early April. And so any team really needing outdoor space would have that available to them. Who else? We have marching band, color guard, all those teams that, you know, or all those other activities that use that space or could use that space. Performance training, lacrosse, if we move into that. I know right now we're part of a co-op with Mwanago, but if we were to, you know, broaden that or have a high interest, there's possibility for that. All these different clubs, I won't run through them all, but then also we have a lot of community teams or organizations that could also benefit from, you know, synthetic fields. And again, I'm not going to read through all those for you, but preliminary costs. So these are very, very preliminary. Again, because the plans haven't been they're not fully engineered. Just doing the West Stadium and track is approximately 2.9 million. Eisenhower Stadium and track is approximately seven. That is with the grandstand project included. If we didn't do that grandstand project, that cost would come down substantially. Estimated total anywhere from 6.8 to 9.9. The district does have in Fund 41, which is their long-range facility capital improvement plan. We do have money slotted or allotted for the tracks sometime in the future. That's something that's been a part of our long-range plan. It's approximately $1 million per track. So that those dollars the district has and would be able to provide for this project. Which means we're looking at anywhere from 4.8 to $7.9 million just to complete the stadium project. How would we get that? And again, non-referendum, through donations, naming rights, or fundraising. Phase 2, this is the baseball, softball phase. And again, any of our baseball and softball players would benefit from this. Also the youth organizations throughout the city. Preliminary costs for this phase, it's approximately 1.3 million for the baseball fields, $650,000 for the softball. Lighting, if we added lighting to, again, increase that availability throughout into the evening hours, would be about $500,000 per school. So again, this one is a wide range because there's a lot of different options as the way you could slice it up, but anywhere from 2 million to about 4.5 or 4.9 million. The district currently doesn't have any funds allotted for the baseball project. So there are no funds in Fund 41 for this project. Phase 3, again, while all the work would be done at Eisenhower, we anticipate that there would be availability for West to benefit from this as well. There would be more fields available. The lighting would allow us to practice into the evening or play into the evening. So Eisenhower and West soccer teams would be able to utilize this venue. And then again, any other team that's looking for outdoor practice space, whether it be high school club or, you know, City Rec, NBA, any of those other organizations would all have access to these fields. This phase 3 preliminary cost is about $500,000, $475,000. And again, very rough estimates based on what we have kind of worked through with our plan. And again, there are no funds in Fund 41 for this type of project. So wanted to lay it all out and kind of show you what it kind of looks like when you add it all up and the different phases. Again, phase 1, approximately 6.5 or 6.8 to 9.9 million, minus that 2 million for the tracks. That would include turf stadium surfaces, reconstructed tracks, upgraded field stations, new stadium, grandstand, and Ike, if that was what we decided to move forward with. Phase 2, the baseball phase, saw some combination of turf, softball, full field, and baseball infield. Phase 3 is that reconfigured green space over at Eisenhower, which kind of brings you to the total over there, which is a large number, but this is what it would cost to do all 3 of these projects somewhere down the line. 9.3 to 15.3 million, again, minus that 2 million for because of the Fund 41 for the tracks. So next steps, we ran through that pretty quickly, but here's what's next. What I told you before in the clipboard, you have a feedback form. We want you to provide some instant feedback if you can. by either scanning that QR code right there or the one that's right in front of you. It'll take you to a Google Doc and you can fill out, ask for your name, contact, and any feedback that you may have on our presentation or any of the projects. We do have a new email address, which when I start emailing you or the rest of the task force, they'll start coming from this task force email from now on. So I'm trying to make sure that that email is safe in your and gets into your inbox. You can leave that paper form, like I said. We will have the website. Actually, it is active now, but we'll be adding content to that website, and I'll show you the address. It's on the last slide. But we'll have plenty of information there. Any information that we provide here is also going to be provided on that website. So if there's something you don't remember or something you want to know or didn't think to ask, there's a good chance it will be on that page. The next meeting is June 19th. And that will probably be here again because we're doing some electrical work over at Eisenhower. And I think that's right during the middle of the shutdown. Yes, I'm getting some nods. So we'll be back here on June 19th. That meeting will be very somewhat similar to this. We're going to start out. We're going to talk about try to answer the feedback or answer the questions that you had, take in the feedback, try to weigh some of those things and see what we can do to make either change up our plans or figure things out. We're also going to provide some more information on the funding mechanisms that we have available to us or that we've utilized in the past. Again, naming rights and sponsorships is one that we've been doing over the last 2 or 3 years. We have Fund 41, and Pat's going to give you a little bit more information about how Fund 41 works, and Fund 21, which is where any donations would be collected or saved for a project like this. And then Julie Cordero, who I didn't introduce before, I'm so sorry, Julie, is the Education Director, Education Foundation Director. She'll be providing a little bit of information about how the foundation works and what role they could possibly play in this project as well. And again, we're going to continue to get feedback from this group. That's the reason why we brought you together. So at the next meeting, we're also going to ask for feedback. Between now and then, our commitment is really to answer all of your questions. So any question that comes in by email or whatever you leave for us now, we're going to do our best to try to get you that answer either before the next meeting or at the next meeting. We want to see how many people ask the same questions, and then we'll put it all together in FAQ and present it to you or share it with you. And then obviously we'll be preparing some more information like I already talked about. Your commitment, I'm hoping, is again, providing some feedback, but also trying to get people excited and or interested in coming to these meetings. They may not want to be a part of the task force. We think there's probably going to be 3 more meetings. We're going to do June 19th. We're going to skip July and then maybe August and September. And then by then we should be able to get our information to the school board. But maybe they just want to come and learn about the potential projects, or they have some feedback, or they want to be a part of a portion of the conversation. Think about those people, try to get them here, try to get them on that webpage, try to get them to read the FAQs, look at the presentation. The more people that we have that are interested in this type of project, the better it's going to go moving forward. So that's the web address. Again, it's live now, but it doesn't have the presentation, but it will as of tomorrow morning. It's going to have the video link and all the other materials that we have. That's it. We weren't planning on having Q&A today because again, we want to just kind of gather all your feedback. Please feel free to have any side conversations or any more conversations with either the athletic directors, Mr. Miller, Joe, our school board, anybody that you want to talk to. But again, we really appreciate you coming out tonight. I know the weather and all these activities in the spring, it makes it difficult to get here, but thank you for coming. And we look forward to seeing you guys on June 19th. Thanks.